While Americans make resolutions, they'll abandon them by February. Amish families follow 10 completely different New Year practices that seem strange to outsiders but create lasting change. No gym memberships, no diet promises, no vision boards, just traditions that actually work because they address why resolutions fail. Silent life. December 31st in Amish households looks nothing like Times Square celebrations or neighborhood parties. The day unfolds in deliberate quietness, with families spending hours in prayer and personal examination that modern culture would find unbearably boring. Each person reflects privately on the year ending, considering specific spiritual questions rather than vague self-improvement goals. Did my faith grow stronger or weaker? Where did I fail to live according to biblical teaching? What blessings did God provide that I failed to appreciate properly? When did pride, anger, or selfishness control my actions? This examination leads to confession, either privately to God or publicly in church if serious sins require community acknowledgement. The goal isn't feeling guilty, but achieving an honest assessment that identifies actual problems rather than superficial issues like weight or organization. No champagne toasts occur at midnight. No countdown celebrations happen. Many Amish families sleep through midnight entirely, viewing the date change as an arbitrary marker requiring no special acknowledgement. The reflection happens throughout the day, not compressed into a single celebratory moment. Modern New Year's Eve emphasizes noise, crowds, and distraction. The Amish create an opposite environment: silence, solitude, and introspection. Church accountability. The first church service of the new year serves purposes completely different from modern New Year services that might offer inspirational messages about fresh starts and new beginnings. Amish January services include public reaffirmation of baptism vows, where adults recommit to the faith and community standards they originally pledged to follow. This isn't a symbolic gesture, but a serious renewal of binding commitments that the community will enforce throughout the coming year. The Ordnung, the unwritten rules governing Amish life, receives review and discussion. Any proposed changes get debated. Existing standards get reinforced. Everyone present acknowledges their submission to these collective rules, rather than making individual resolutions about personal improvement. The accountability proves immediate and ongoing. Church members watch each other throughout the year, noting failures to maintain commitments and addressing problems through community discipline if necessary. No one makes private resolutions they can abandon without consequences. This public commitment to unchanged standards contradicts modern resolution culture that emphasizes individual goal setting and personal transformation. The Amish commit to remaining the same while executing existing standards more faithfully. The strange element: they're not trying to become different people, but to better embody who they already are. Financial settlement. Before January 1st arrives, Amish families engage in comprehensive financial settlement that ensures no debts, unpaid bills, or unresolved money matters carry into the new year. This practice seems strange to culture normalized to perpetual debt and monthly payment cycles. All outstanding debts between community members get settled. Loans between families conclude with final payments made before December 31st. Business accounts get balanced. Bills get paid in full. The goal: complete financial clean slate. This extends to interpersonal debts beyond money. If someone owes labor to another, that work gets completed. If someone borrowed tools or materials, those items get returned. The settlement proves comprehensive rather than focusing only on cash transactions. Community members who lent money don't carry accounts receivable into January. Everyone who owes money doesn't enter the new year burdened by debt. The mutual settlement creates fresh beginning that modern payoff debt resolutions attempt but rarely achieve. The practice reveals fundamental difference in financial philosophy. Modern culture accepts debt as normal, even necessary. The Amish view carrying debt as spiritual and practical failure, requiring immediate correction. No credit cards exist to enable carrying balances forward indefinitely. The annual settlement forces financial discipline that monthly minimum payments allow people to avoid perpetually. Relationship reconciliation. The Amish approach to New Year relationship issues differs radically from modern patterns of ghosting, avoiding conflict, and letting grudges fester indefinitely while making vague resolutions to be more positive or let things go. Before the new year begins, unresolved conflicts must be addressed directly. If two people harbor grudges, they must meet face to face to seek reconciliation. Apologies get delivered in person, not through text messages or intermediaries. Forgiveness gets requested and granted explicitly. Family conflicts receive particular attention. Parent-child tensions, sibling rivalries, or extended family disputes all require resolution before January 1st. The community expects peaceful relationships entering the new year, not simmering resentments carried forward indefinitely. The practice isn't optional. Church leaders may intervene if they know about unresolved conflicts, pressing both parties toward reconciliation. Refusing to forgive or apologize can result in church discipline that affects standing in the community. This forced reconciliation seems strange to culture that values boundaries and avoiding uncomfortable conversations. The Amish prioritize peace over comfort, requiring difficult conversations that modern people indefinitely postpone. The result: no festering resentments, poison relationships throughout the coming year. Issues get addressed when fresh rather than accumulating into permanent alienation. Tool inventory. While modern people make vague resolutions about productivity or organization, Amish families conduct comprehensive tool inventory in December that creates actual readiness for the year ahead through concrete preparation rather than aspirational thinking. Every piece of equipment gets inspected. Farm implements, workshop tools, kitchen equipment, and household items all receive examination to identify damage, wear, or malfunction, requiring attention before spring work begins. Broken items get repaired immediately. Dull blades get sharpened. Rusty metal gets cleaned and oiled. Missing tools get located or replaced. Worn handles get sanded smooth or replaced entirely. The inventory creates a comprehensive understanding of equipment status. Workshops and storage areas get organized completely. Tools return to designated locations. Supplies get counted and restocked. Everything receives placement, allowing efficient access when needed. This physical preparation accomplishes what get organized resolutions attempt but rarely achieve. The difference: specific items in specific locations with specific repairs completed versus vague intentions about being more organized generally. The practice reflects a practical rather than psychological approach to improvement. Instead of promising to be more productive, they ensure tools function properly so productivity happens naturally when work begins. Modern resolutions focus on changing mindset or habits. Amish preparation focuses on changing actual physical circumstances that enable or prevent desired outcomes. Ready tools create productivity. Broken tools prevent it regardless of motivation. Seed planning. The Amish response to nutrition and health differs completely from the lose weight and eat healthier resolutions that dominate modern New Year planning. Instead of vague dietary goals, they create detailed agricultural plans ensuring proper nutrition through the coming year. Garden layouts get designed in December based on previous year's results. Which crops produced well? What failed due to pests or weather? How much of each vegetable does the family actually consume? The analysis produces specific planting plan rather than general intentions. Seed orders get placed in early January after careful calculation of family needs. The orders account for household size, preservation capacity, and dietary preferences. No guessing or hoping involved, just mathematical planning. Crop rotation gets mapped to maintain soil health and prevent pest problems. Last year's tomato location becomes this year's bean plot. Corn moves to where potatoes grew. The rotation follows principles refined over generations. Preservation needs get calculated. How many jars of tomatoes did the family consume last year? How much sauerkraut? The answers determine planting quantities, ensuring adequate supply without waste. This concrete planning substitutes for eat healthier resolutions by ensuring healthy food availability. You can't eat vegetables you didn't grow. Planning the garden ensures nutrition improvement through changed circumstances rather than changed willpower. Modern diet resolutions fail because they depend entirely on self control. Amish garden planning succeeds because it creates an environment where healthy eating happens naturally when the harvest arrives. Skill assessment. Rather than making vague resolutions about learning something new or developing themselves personally, Amish families conduct formal skill assessments, identifying specific competency gaps requiring attention during the coming year. Each family member receives an evaluation. What skills should children have mastered by now but haven't? What domestic capabilities should daughters possess before marriage? What trade competencies should sons demonstrate before establishing independent households? The assessment produces concrete training plans. If a 14-year-old daughter cannot sew a complete dress independently, her mother schedules specific lessons during winter months. If a 16-year-old son lacks carpentry basics, apprenticeship arrangements get made with skilled craftsmen. Adults evaluate their own teaching responsibilities. What knowledge must they pass to children before those children reach adulthood? The timeline creates urgency about skill transmission that vague, spend more time with kids resolutions never achieve. The formalized review seems strange to culture that treats skill development casually, assuming people will learn what they need when they need it. The Amish recognize that systematic training produces competence while informal exposure often leaves critical gaps. Modern learn something new resolutions typically involve hobbies or interests pursued casually. Amish skill assessment focuses on capabilities essential for survival and contribution to household economy. The difference between wanting to learn guitar versus needing to butcher livestock competently. Clothing inventory. December brings comprehensive wardrobe assessment that substitutes for organize my closet or declutter resolutions through systematic evaluation, producing specific sewing plans rather than vague organizing intentions. Every family member's clothing gets examined piece by piece. Which items show excessive wear? What needs mending? Where do gaps exist in seasonal wardrobes? How much have children grown, requiring new garments in larger sizes? The inventory produces detailed lists. 3 dresses need replacing for mother, 2 shirts for father, complete new wardrobes for rapidly growing 10-year-old son. The specificity enables concrete planning. Fabric gets purchased in January based on calculated needs. If the household requires 15 yards of dress fabric, 20 yards of shirt material, and 10 yards for children's clothing, exactly those amounts get bought during winter sales when prices drop. Sewing schedules get established. Mother will complete her dresses by February. Daughter's spring dresses finish by March. Everything planned specifically, rather than hoping to stay on top of mending generally. Modern closet organization resolutions typically involve buying storage solutions and purging excess. Amish clothing inventory involves making what's needed and repairing what exists, addressing actual problems rather than organizing symptoms of overconsumption. Community commitments. Vague resolutions about volunteering more or being more helpful get replaced by specific commitments to particular people facing identified needs during the coming year. The community assessment happens systematically. Which families will have babies requiring meal delivery and childcare help? Who's elderly and will need firewood cut, snow shoveled, and rides to medical appointments? Which young couples plan weddings requiring community labor for preparation? The calendar fills with concrete commitments. March, help with barn raising at Miller Farm. April, provide meals for Yoder family after childbirth. June, assist with wedding preparations for 3 couples. August, help elderly widow with garden harvest. Individual families commit to specific people and specific tasks. No general intentions about being more helpful, just scheduled obligations to particular neighbors for particular needs. The formalized planning seems strange to culture that treats helping as spontaneous generosity, responding to immediate needs. The Amish recognize that systematic planning ensures help actually happens, while good intentions produce sporadic assistance, leaving gaps. Modern volunteer more resolutions fail because they lack specificity about who, when, and doing what. Amish community commitments succeed because they answer all three questions before January begins.